In the pantheon that is boutique guitar pedals, there are certain names that are looked at as the OGs, the innovators, the ones that started it all. There's also names that are hotly debated as to whether they should be recognized as leaders or not. But while there's the names that we all recognize and the names that we debate about, there are some names that just tend to get forgotten for one reason or another, and I think Voodoo Lab is one of those names. Yes, I'm sure you know about Voodoo Lab because of their power bricks, and for good reason. I remember when I was growing up and just getting started playing guitar, those ads were constant in guitar magazines, and there wasn't a single professional player that I was aware of that wasn't using a pedal power brick. But at the same time, I was always attracted to their pedals. I loved the look of them, and even a few of them that I got the chance to play, I loved the sound of. But there's one pedal that has been the one that I've been the most attracted to from Voodoo Lab. Ever since I found out about it maybe over 10 years ago, it's been out a while, and it's a pedal that I still don't feel like most players really get, and that is the Giggity.
Giggity.
Shut up, Quagmire. Oh, please tell me this is not gonna happen every time I say Giggity.
Giggity.
So what exactly is it about this particular pedal that I don't feel people understand? Well, in the marketing, it does call it an overdrive pedal. And believe me, it can certainly get some nice overdriven kind of sounds out of it. But this is more of a utility pedal. This is really something that you throw on your board. It's almost always going to be on and serve as the basis for your entire guitar sound. Now we have 4 knobs that we can turn counterclockwise and clockwise and a 4-position rotary selector. We have loudness, body, air, and master. But the real kicker for me is the 4-position rotary selector that you see at the top of the pedal. It goes from a sun to a sort of half moon icon. And this is a 4-position bright switch. Now it's not adding brightness to your sound, instead it's taking it away, with the most left position being the most amount of brightness, and then subtle decreasing of that brightness the more you turn it to the right. Now, before I really get down to showing you some of the ways that I like to use Giggity, I do want to show you how much gain is in the pedal, because although part of it does say it's an overdrive pedal, well, it's not really much overdrive. However, what it does impart to the tone is incredibly pleasing, especially if you're using single coil pickups. Now, what I heard in that is that the first half of the loudness control's throw is really not much more than, say, a harmonic content boost. When we had it turned full counterclockwise, it was pretty darn transparent. And then the more we turned it up, we just started getting a little subtle bit of muscle, really, is what I would put it as. And then at noon, this was a great kind of clean boost. And then once we started moving past 12 to say like 1, 2 o'clock on the dial, that's where some grit started getting introduced. And this is one of the reasons I love using it with guitars with single coil pickups, because let's face it, single coil pickups can sound great, but they often lack a certain punch to them. Some people will say I'm crazy, but I personally think that the Giggity is kind of a Fender Fixer. Now, before you go thinking I'm going to eschew my trusty Les Paul just because I love the way this pedal works with single coil pickups, let me bring it in and show you another one of my favorite uses, and that's sort of as an EQ pedal. Now, one of the great things about this particular pedal with its tone stack is that the air frequency is centered in just the right spot for us to get that sparkle and shine that we love for clean guitar parts. But we're able to tame certain high-end frequencies, which I believe is thanks to the 4-position bright switch, in order to make things just a little bit more mellow and not worry too much about things getting too out of hand and shrill. Least I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Giggity does indeed stand on its own as a great overdrive pedal that's incredibly dynamic. Probably just because this thing is more of a preamp, that gain just really responds to volume and tone knob changes. this sound also stacks great with other pedals. I personally like running the red llama side of my Way Huge camel toe into it. So here's that sound. So to review, it does help to look at Giggity as a bit of a 3-in-1 pedal, or at least 3 different types of pedals rolled into one: an overdrive, an EQ, and a preamp pedal. It stacks fantastically with other pedals, whether you're running other pedals into it or after it. It sounds great in front of a clean amp or a dirty amp, and the uses of guitars, or even basses for that matter, are only limited by your imagination. So if you haven't checked out a Giggity for yourself, I highly recommend that you do so. It is the most surprising pedal that I have gotten this year, and I'm definitely going to be delving into more Voodoo Lab stuff in the near future. Thank you all so much for spending part of your day with me. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please help support me in my endeavors to make better guitar videos for all types of players. Clicking the subscribe button and ringing the notification bell is the easiest thing that you can do to show your support. It also doesn't hurt to give this video a thumbs up and sharing a link to it with a friend of yours. But the best way for us to stay connected is if you join my email club. Every member of that club not only gets video links just like this one sent direct to their email inbox, you're also entered into giveaways that I run exclusively for club members. Just click the link in the description box down below or go to SeanPierceJohnson.com/email. I hope to see you again soon, my friends, and until then, I'm Sean Pierce Johnson wishing you all watching great tone, great health, and of course, happy stomping. Cheers, friends. God bless.
Giggity.